Whenever there's trouble, we're there on the double. We're the Bloodhound Gang. If you got the crime, we've got the time. We're the Bloodhound Gang.
Ricardo was performing a trick, making an egg float in water, when the phone rang. An insurance company hired the Bloodhound Gang to investigate the theft of a very valuable clock from the collection of Mr. Keefe. Mr. Keefe claimed that he was in the shower when the phone rang. It was then he saw the thief in the bathroom mirror. According to Mr. Keefe, the theft occurred during a sudden rainstorm, but the Bloodhound Gang couldn't find footprints in the mud. Mr. Keefe had ordered 100 pounds of salt for the following week, but it was delivered early. Ricardo followed footprints to an old and deep wishing well.
Maybe the burglar was just steamed at Mr. Keefe.
That was the clue Vicky needed. She rushed home to take a shower. Now for the conclusion of the case of the flying clock.
What's the meaning of all this?
Let's step over to the window. You said the burglar came in through this window, right?
Exactly.
Impossible. We can't find any footprints. You said the burglar entered during the sudden rainstorm last night. His shoes would have been muddy from the garden.
My housekeeper would have vacuumed up any footprints.
But you told us you fired your housekeeper days ago.
Now, see here. Your duty is to recover the flying pendulum clock, not to persecute me with these insulting questions. I've been burglarized. The scapegrace is on the loose. Catch him!
What?
The miscreant.
Oh, the burglar. Red hair, sunglasses, chipped front tooth. Are you certain of that description?
Quite certain.
You said you started a hot shower when the phone rang. After answering the phone, you then returned to the bathroom. You said that's when you saw the burglar reflected in the mirror?
Precisely.
I tried out the shower and mirror at home.
How enterprising.
You didn't see the burglar.
I've had quite enough of this, miss.
Look at the mirror. Fogged up. When the steam from the hot shower hits the cold mirror, you can see what happens. Water drops fog up the mirror. Mr. Keefe, you couldn't have seen anyone's reflection, and certainly not detailed like a chipped tooth. The burglar is a figment of your imagination. You made him up. You weren't in the shower last night. You were out in the rain.
What on earth for?
To hide the flying pendulum clock. You hid it yourself and said it was stolen in order for the insurance company to pay you for the loss.
What arrogant nonsense. Carry a superb clock like that out into the rain. It would be ruined.
I'm sure you waterproofed it somehow.
And just where am I supposed to have hidden it?
Perhaps we better have a look around.
Out back, Officer Dobbs.
Did you see the way he looked at those sacks of salt? He almost turned white. Zach, I've got it.
Notice these footprints.
I told you there was an intruder.
They lead from the house to the well, kerplunk, and then back to the house.
Dropped in the well? Unthinkable, even for a sneak thief.
Certainly the last place one would consider hiding a clock.
Or to look for one.
Mr. Keefe, do you know how to make an egg float in water?
Yes. That old parlor trick. Oh, so we have definitely established there was an intruder, have we not?
Not if the footprints are yours.
And not if we can fish the clock out of the well. We can't risk poking around with a hook. The clock is too valuable. We'll damage it.
Quite naturally, I forbid it. Not that I believe the clock is down there.
Officer Dobbs, we think Mr. Keefe planned to recover the clock with salt, only after the coast was clear. Salt? Salt is the secret. If you put an egg in fresh water, it sinks. But if you add a lot of salt, It makes the water denser, and the egg floats, rises to the top. But I don't think you ordered 100 pounds of salt to float eggs. Okay if we try something?
Yes, if it'll save the police time and expense.
That's it. If there's anything down there, it ought to float up like an egg. Unless the clock is too dense.
What do you know? King Louis's flying pendulum clock.
Sealed in a waterproof bag with enough air in it to make it sink in fresh water but float in salt water.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Not you, them. The Bloodhound Gang.